Welcome to Echo 321, Study Session 9, Human Capital and Economic Development. Introduction. The multiple equilibria reflect that the benefits an agent receives from taking an action depend positively on how many other agents are expected to take the same action. The focus of this session thus includes endogenous growth model and link between growth and human development. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Appraise the endogenous growth model. 2. Explain the relationship between human capital and economic growth and development. Roma 1986 model, the process of knowledge accumulation. A general form of Rover's model can be written as Y equals A of R, F of R, K, L, where R, K, and L are, respectively, stock results from research and development expenditure by firm J, physical capital of firm J, and labor of firm J. R is the aggregate stock of knowledge. Any private research effort will have a spillover effect for the public stock of knowledge. This type of model can explain why countries experience different growth rates. A country with an initial higher level of K experiences a higher rate of growth of K, leading to a higher rate of growth of per capita income because such a country is more experienced through learning by doing. This is an external effect that prevents diminishing returns. Another popular model is that of Lucas 1988, which, although similar to that of Roma, includes human capital, which is taken as the general level of skill embodied in workers in the form of formal education or on-the-job training. Lucas assumes that each worker allocates U fraction of his time to producing good and 1 minus U fraction to producing human capital, and he writes the production function in per capita form as Y over Y equals beta K bar over K plus bracket 1 minus beta times U over U plus H over H all in bracket plus Y of H of N divided by H of N. Y asterisk over Y equals growth of per capita income. K asterisk over K equals growth of physical capital. H asterisk over H equals rate of growth of human capital. H asterisk of N divided by H N equals rate of growth of average human capital. And beta and 1 minus beta and Y are the shares of each factor in output. In the steady state, U asterisk over U equals 0, Y asterisk over Y equals K asterisk over K. Hence, the fraction of time spent on production of human capital directly affects the increase in human capital production and indirectly affects the increase in average human capital production. The rate of growth of per capita income in all countries can be specified as Y over Y equals 1 minus beta minus Y over 1 minus alpha all in bracket. But if a country has a higher initial level of human capital, per capita income will always be higher. Assume two countries, one rich with higher level of human capital and another poor with a lower level of human capital. Then Y of E will equals to K to power beta of U H of E bracket close to power 1 minus beta H AP, and YR equals k to power beta of UH of E bracket close to power 1 minus B H to power R. Links between growth and human capital. Social versus private benefit and cost. Typically, in developing countries, the social cost of education increases rapidly as students climb the educational ladder. The social cost is the opportunity cost to society as a whole, resulting from the need to finance costly educational expansion at higher levels when these limited funds might be more productively used in other sectors of the economy. The private costs of education that are borne by students themselves increase more slowly or may even decline. It also demonstrates how this divergence can lead to a misallocation of resources when private interest supersedes social investment criteria. In figure 9.2a, expected private returns and actual private costs are plotted against years of completed schooling. As a student completes more and more years of schooling, expected private returns grow at a much faster rate than private costs. Thus, the optimal strategy to maximize private return on education investment is to secure as much schooling as possible. When you examine figure 9.2b, where social costs and social returns are plotted against years of schooling, it is clear that the social benefit curves rises sharply up to the point B and rises more slowly later. By contrast, the social cost curve shows a slow rate of growth before point B and then a much more rapid growth later. Thus, from the social point of view, the optimal strategy that maximizes social return on education investment would be to provide B years of schooling to all students. To a large extent, the problem of divergent social versus private benefits and costs has been artificially created by inappropriate public and private policies with respect to wage differential, educational selectivity, and the pricing of educational services. As a result, private calculations of the value of education exceed its social value, which must take account of unemployment. However, it seems clear that the expansion of educational opportunities at all levels has contributed to aggregate economic growth by 1. Creating a more productive labor force and endowing it with increased knowledge and skills. 2. Providing widespread employment and income earning opportunities for teachers, school and construction workers, textbook and paper printers, school uniform manufacturers, and related workers. 3. Creating a class of educated leaders to fill vacancies left by departing expatriates or otherwise vacant positions in governmental services, public operations, private businesses, and professions. And 4. Providing the kind of training and education that will promote literacy and basic skills while encouraging modern attitudes on the part of diverse segments of the population. Summary. In this study session, you learned that in the traditional neoclassic growth model, non-economic variables such as human capital have no function. Endogenous growth models correct these by broadening the concept of capital to include human capital. Links between human development and economic growth can be mutually reinforcing. When links are strong, they contribute to each other. When weak, one can undermine the other. Unbalanced links are the result of rapid human development with little growth, or of fast growth with slow human development. Lack of investment in human capital can be seen as a market failure which government activity can help to correct. Health and education are closely related in economic development. The analysis of investment in health and education is unified in the human capital approach. Like physical capital, after an initial investment is made, a stream of higher future income can be generated from expansion of education and improvement in health. This is the end of study session 9. Thanks for listening.